Started. Thank you. This being our council meeting for Monday, 27th of July, 2026. Devonport City Council acknowledges and pays respects to the Palawapakana people as the traditional and original owners of Lutruwita and continuing custodians of this land on which we gather. We also acknowledge and pay our respects to the Tasmanian Aboriginal elders past and present. Lovely to see our councillors here. Read apologies. We do have one, that is Councillor Jared Ennis. Any declarations of interest from the councillors tonight?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Murphy.
Mayor, I'd like to declare an interest in agenda item 4.1. The proponent has been engaged by the company that I work for in my professional capacity as a real estate agent, and therefore I will be leaving the room.
Thank you. Any other declarations of interest? Will be open meeting? No. Thank you. Move right along. Item 3 is procedural. Oh, sorry, no, I've missed one part. Let me go there. All persons in attendance are advised that it is council policy to record council meetings in accordance with council's digital recording policy. The digital recording of this meeting will be made available to the public on council's website for a minimum period of 6 months. The meeting will also be live streamed on council's YouTube channel. Under this tomorrow, bear with me. So item 3 is procedural. 3.1 is confirmation of minutes. If I could have a mover, please, of the recommendation.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Viney, and a seconder. Councillor Vilchinsky. Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. Minutes correct as from the previous meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Vilchinsky.
Nothing further to add.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? If not, Councillor Viney to close, please.
Consider it closed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 3.2 is public question time. 3.2.1 is responses to questions raised at prior meetings. There are none. 3.2.2 is questions on notice from the public. So recommendations there, if I could have a mover, please. Councillor Moore, thank you. And a seconder.
Second.
Councillor Murphy, thank you. Councillor Moore.
Yes, Mayor, there's 2 questions there. Both have been answered. Just taking note that you did attend the meeting about the data centres.
A webinar.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. I just would like to highlight a spelling error in the response. Firms is spelled with an E and not an I.
Did see that too.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I know that the answers to Mr. Vellacott's questions are adequate in regards to that. In response to Shane Allison, the question was if we are requesting firms to hold a community information meeting in Devonport. That was the question. The answer was the Mayor has attended an online webinar with firms. I don't think that actually answers the question. The question was if we are requesting firms to hold a community information meeting in Devonport. That does not answer that.
There is an answer there.
On board, Mayor. I think subsequently since the issue of these firms have actually announced that they intend to hold a public meeting in Devonport.
Certainly. I don't know if it was in Devonport. It's in Wesley Vale and
I believe there's been some media around the fact that they're actually willing to have one in Devonport.
But Councillor Martin, if I may.
I just query that because I didn't see it. It just said that the Mayor has met online with firms. But I thought the question was, and I wrote it down here as I was reading it, if we were requesting firms to hold a community information meeting in Devonport.
Through you, Mayor, the proposed response is no, council does not currently have any plans to hold a community meeting regarding data centres.
Have you not got that there, Councillor Martin?
I didn't see it.
And it goes on. The piece in yellow, that was actually the spelling mistake that got picked up that may have, with the upload today, may have changed some of its version.
It's just under where it says
Okay, well,
response.
yeah, what I got was the answer was A, the mayor has attended an online webinar with firms.
That's all that we've.
That's all we've got.
I've got no, council doesn't.
Yeah, I don't understand like that.
Not quite sure what's happening there, but I noted it as I was reading it
Fair enough.
and wrote it down. The other thing that I've got here is what happened to Mr. Allison's question 2. Has the mayor or have the mayor, councillors and executive completed any inquiries or research on the direct health effects to their communities of the proposed AI data centres and associated infrastructure within a 12-kilometre radius?
Sure, where you get that from.
Well, I've got that, and that's of the letter that Mr. Allison wrote to council. So it was a second question there. Don't know what I'm looking at, a different version or not, but it was on there. I'm copying it out, and again, I wrote it down from my revision of looking at the letter that Mr. Allison wrote. So I wonder what happened there.
Just to clarify there, the response that we're recommending that council adopt should read, no, council does not currently have any plans to hold a community meeting regarding data centres, however, are remaining informed and updated on opportunities and challenges that exist with the development of such facilities. The mayor has met online with firms.
Question. I believe with the agenda was uploaded twice, so is that where the difference is in this sort of coming from?
We'll have to look in that for you, Councillor Martin, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We seem to have two different.
Question, Mayor. I think Councillor Hollister may be correct. I think there was an agenda item that was removed from the previous agenda, which has subsequently seen a different agenda sent out to councillors compared to one sent out on Thursday, with respect to the response, because I've just uploaded, because I noticed that I didn't have access to any of the attachments that were available for tonight's meeting until I reloaded the new agenda, which have now provided me with the attachments that are available. So I think Councillor Martin is correct in the information that was provided to us. And subsequently, we've been operating two agendas.
Interesting. So I had the attachments like 2 days ago. But you can have them
Yeah,
all.
I concur with you, Mayor. I had the attachments as early as this morning,
Yes.
and subsequently operating the council computer this evening, and opened up the documents that I was reading earlier this morning. They are different to the documents that I now have.
Okay. I haven't tried to open up the attachments tonight, so I'll be interested to see how we go as we go on.
Yeah, because the answer provided to Mr. Allison's first question was A, the mayor has attended an online webinar.
Yes. Understand
with
the confusion.
That was the answer that I got.
Thank you.
Okay.
We might have to get back to everybody on this.
Through the next, just to
Sorry.
clarify,
Yes.
we can, if council just go back and reopen their agenda, one that starts with the word agenda is the correct word.
The note that I've already done, the research that I've already done is from the first agenda. We'll see how we go.
Well, both can be open on screen.
Yeah.
If you wanted to
All right.
just pause for a minute, that is the correct agenda, the one that says the word agenda at the start. And apologise, Mayor, for that.
Yeah.
That error.
We've had a glitch in the system. Councillor Wilczynski, did you have a question? Sorry.
No, just that we did get notification by Teams late today
Yes.
that there's been a double up.
That's all well and good if you were looking at it later.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you've done your work prior,
All good. All right. Thank you. Any further questions for 3.2.2 at the moment from the councillors? If not, we'll ask Councillor Moore to close.
I was lucky that I had the most updated agenda. Mine did say no We've got no plans for that, so consider the matter closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. We'll get an update on that for you. 3.2.3 is questions without notice from the public. There are none. At the moment. Mr. Devonport, how are you?
How do you do?
Anyone from the gallery can come along and ask a question now. So, Mr. Devonport, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Bob Vellacott, 11 Cocker Place, Devonport. Mayor and councillors, questions on notice for tonight. The subject is parking infringements in Market Square car park. Mayor and councillors, I refer to the June 22 meeting 2026 agenda item 3.22 and council's response informed that to the 29th of May 2026, a total of 1,952 parking infringement notices were issued in the multi-level car park since the introduction of the smart metering system. Tonight's meeting agenda, item 5.55, parking income statistics this financial year discloses the revenue received from fines was $1,221,702.83. Indeed, an outstanding result. And now my question is council comfortable with these results? I believe there's a lot of angst amongst the ratepayers about what is going on. Seems an extraordinary amount of fines.
Thank you, Mr. Devonport.
My question is,
I think through you, Mayor, there's probably more a statement from Mr. Vellacott. The only clarity I'll provide is that that budget for infringements is total infringements budget, not just the multi-storey car park.
I realise that, but the total fines all up, including that does include that, doesn't it? I'm not implying there, or I hope I haven't implied that all that amount of fines is pertaining to the multi-level car park. But you've said there that was 1,952 parking infringements were notices were issued in the multi-level car park. That's what it said, which is an extraordinary amount, and also the fines. We're supposed to be the living city and friendly city. It's not doing the council or our city, I don't believe, much good. I'd like to your opinion.
Oh, similar to speeding fines. We wish there weren't speeding fines either.
Sorry?
We wish there weren't speeding fines either, but people speed as well. There are fines in a lot of things, unfortunately, and we need to always make sure that people are moving on from their parking, because if not, they'll take up parking spaces that are for people to get the flow going, to be able to get to businesses.
No one denies that, and I certainly
you asked
don't.
my answer, I'm giving you my answer, Bob.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it is concerning,
Thank
isn't
you.
it?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. That was
Right.
yeah. Thank you. Question 2. I refer to page 77 of the agenda, item risk compliance 6.4, 1.5. Of concern there is the number of complaints during June in regard to among other things, 9 dogs barking and 5 attacks on people. Given the seriousness regarding dogs barking and attacks, not only recorded in this June, but also every month, I ask, how many of the dog attacks were reported to the police? B, how many are now listed on the dangerous dogs register? And C, are the addresses of where the dangerous dogs are housed available to the public? If the addresses are not available, then why not?
There's quite a few questions there, Mr. Devonport, within, so bear with me. Ms. Stone, do you just want to relay back? Thank you.
This is serious stuff.
Yeah, I think we'd like to take that. I'm sorry, through you, Mayor. I think we'd like to take that on notice, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Thank you. We'll get back to you in writing. Thank you.
I have another question if there's no.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Is there anyone else from the gallery that would like to ask any questions? This is your opportunity. If not, Mr. Devonport, the floor is yours for the moment.
Question 3, Mayor. According to this evening's, Mayor, according in this evening's agenda item 6.4, Risk and Compliance Incidents Report for June, reference 1.52. This has been pertaining to council employees. There's been 4 accidents, that is 1 per week. Unfortunately, every month the report contains a concerning number of accidents, and as you're aware, I previously commented upon this. Mayor, it surprises me to the best of my recollection, little if any comment has been made from elected members at meetings about this ongoing serious and costly problem. Therefore, I ask again, will you request that this particular problem be given more prominence in the agenda so that it may get due attention that it deserves?
Thank you, Mr. Velleman.
Pretty dangerous place to be, isn't it?
Through you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Stone.
Be assured, Mr. Vellecott, that all of our incidents are investigated, no matter how serious or mild they are, and outcomes are well recorded within our council system. Basically, what we give at council meeting is just a very brief overview of those incidents. But as I said, be assured that we are very, very safety conscious here, and we have a policy of 0 harm.
Thank you, Ms. Stone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Through you, Mayor. If I may also add that these are also discussed at the audit committee meeting where advice is provided to the councillors that sit on that meeting, and any concerns can definitely be voiced through to the CEO at the time.
Thank you, Councillor.
Yeah, it'd be nice to hear what the comments are about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vellecott.
Thank you.
No more questions from the gallery? If not, we will move on. Thank you. So 3.3 is questions from councillors. There are none. 3.3.1 therefore, and then 3.3.2 questions without notice from councillors. There are none. Item 3.4 is notices of motion. 3.4.1 being adoption of revised Devonport Live and Learn strategy. Can I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Martin. And can I have a second, please? Councillor Murphy. Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Oh, thank you, Mayor. This is a revision of a strategy that was written by members of our community back in 2015, and it was adopted by council at that stage. And a bit of history behind it was that in 2011, CEPA ranked Devonport as the 7th most disadvantaged municipality in Tasmania. 2 major levers were identified to tackle this disadvantage. The first one was economic development. I was proud to initiate the rejuvenation of our CBD, which evolved into the Living City vision, attracting investment, creating jobs and strengthening our local economy. The second lever was learning. Strong literacy and lifelong learning improve health, employability, financial stability and community participation. For a community facing high disadvantage, improving learning capability is essential. I was proud to be part of the initiation and to gather support for the strategy that made Devonport a learning community, the Live and Learn strategy. These 2 levers work together. One builds jobs, the other builds the people who can take those jobs. One strengthens the city, the other strengthens the community. In 2014, Council adopted the Living City Master Plan, and then in 2015, Council adopted the community-written Live and Learn strategy, created by more than 150 representatives from learning, youth, industry, business and community organisations. They helped formulate the strategy, which was then concised by the committee of the Live and Learn, and then was presented to council for adoption. Since then, the strategy has delivered real outcomes such as the Festival of Learning, which went for a month in September and it went over several years. We also have the Devonport Regis Cup, which is celebrating its 10th year in November this year, with a record amount of teams that are competing at the cup. We've had national support from Council for the Read Aloud to Your Child Every Day, support from 2610, support from the 26 or the 29 mayors of Tasmania for that campaign as well. The strategy strengthens this foundation. It puts early literacy at the centre, supports lifelong learning and digital skills. It aligns with the state literacy priorities and reflects updated community expectations around capability, workforce readiness and wellbeing. It also supports the Live Well strategy, but it does not duplicate it. Live Well provides wellbeing direction. Live and Learn provides a learning roadmap. This revision reflects input from major organisations, including the Devonport Chamber of Commerce, the Department of Education, Children and Young People, 2610, Early Years, Library Tasmania, Child and Family Learning Centres, UTAS, Loaves and Fishes, Devonport Community House and State Growth. They've all helped with the revision of the learning strategy. And with the 2026 census fast approaching, we would hope that the combined impact of Living City, Live and Learn, and our community commitment to literacy and learning will show improvement in our super position. Now, in 2016, Devonport didn't move too far in the scale of disadvantage. And again, in 2021, there was no significant movement either. And as was said in the Live and Learn strategy, that education, learning is one of the pillars that help battle and tackle poverty and disadvantage in our community. I encourage councillors to support the motion and to adopt the revised community strategy. And in saying that, I'll just make note that it was in the attachments, and it's from Jen Aston from the Department of Children, Youth and Young People. And I quote, "The breadth and depth of work underway is greater than can be covered in this email," talking about DCIP and what they're doing. But we'd like to be a primary stakeholder in your approach to literacy and learning in Devonport, and would welcome the opportunity to talk to you in greater detail about the work we are doing and how it aligns with your approach. Again, I quote Professor Sonia Stanford from UTAS, the Pro Vice Chancellor from the Crater Coast region. "Thank you again for your leadership and dedication to this important work. Please let me know if there are opportunities for UTAS to further support or contribute as the strategy is implemented." Both very powerful people, both very powerful organisations. And the last point I'll make there is that where the Live and Learn strategy promoted a festival of learning for the whole month of September, and is now being reduced to Expo of Everything, which is 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon. UTAS in Burnie is actually running their own festival of learning, which runs over 2 weeks, and it was in conjunction with our original strategy. Thank you, and I hope for your support for this revision.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Just bear with me a moment. The agenda back up. Yes, Mayor, there's a couple of interesting points around this particular one, and having done a significant amount of research on this, I suppose there's a couple of things from a governance perspective for me. The fact that at the March meeting, Council resolved to take no further action on the Live and Learn strategy. There's no reference to the resolution from Council from the March meeting, which I think it should be, should have read Resolution 2642. In my opinion, even in this agenda, there are other references where council resolutions have been noted and numbered within the document. So I just think from a governance perspective, I think that's something that's relevant. That would then provide the opportunity for fellow councillors to be able to go back and research where and when that resolution was made, who supported it, who didn't support it. It was coupled with a number of other annual plan actions that were in that particular agenda item. It wasn't something that was standalone, which I think needs to be considered in what the notice of motion has been put forward this evening. The other thing is with respect to the officer's comments, is around the fact that they provided advice that the strategy was considered as a community document at the time rather than a specific council strategy. However, in 2015, when you go back to the council's website, it quite clearly states that council adopted that strategy. So it appears, without being able to go back to because I don't have access to 2015 minutes or agenda, I can't find the resolution numbers for that, which I would have liked to have had for providing comment and providing advice to my fellow councillors. But on the face of it, the fact that it's on the council's website stating that it was an adopted policy quite clearly is in conflict with the officer's comments. It also says in the officer's comments that council is resourced and has a budget to fund living well initiatives that deliver the focus area of learning well. However, there is currently no allowance to implement or lead the extensive list. I think the three actions that have been identified in the notice of motion, I wouldn't exactly call extensive. I think support implementation and enhance Devonport's identity by learning. This report recommends that council explore opportunities to join key national and international networks. So it's only asking to explore. So realistically, it's more a time-sensitive issue for council officers to provide the advice to councillors to make determinations as to whether we want to join UNESCO Global Network of Learning Cities, whether the Australian Learning Cities Network is something that we should be a part of, or whether Adult Learning Australia is something we need to be a part of. In my personal opinion, I don't think that's that onerous, nor would it be that costly. And I don't believe it's extensive, to be quite honest. With respect to whether that policy that was adopted in 2015 has actually been repealed, that's the other question I had here with respect to getting clarification around where this particular policy sits. Whilst I accept having gone back and researched and noted that I voted for, but I think we may not have had all of the information when you look back at the agenda items in March 2015 for us to make a fully informed decision. So I will be encouraging my fellow councillors to support the notice of motion.
I just clarify there. We believe the comments are correct. The report in October 2015 clearly says the council endorsed the strategy rather than adopted, and there's quite a section of commentary in regard to why it's not a council strategy for adoption. So our advice to councillors is that the comments are correct, and the comments there around the resources to implement the actions is relating to the actions within the strategy, not just the points in the notice of motion. So again, our advice is that we don't currently have the resources to to take a lead role in the implementation of those actions.
Thank you.
Clarify.
If I can, Mayor, just ask the question of the CEO with respect to that information. Now I've got an updated version of the notice of motion and the information that's provided to us. Where do I find the information that the CEO has just referred to?
Through there, if anyone wanted a copy of the October 2015 report, we can happy to provide that.
Through you, Mayor, would it probably be relevant then to attach that information for us to be able to have that taken into consideration? We receive the agenda on Wednesday night, we receive it Thursday. Some of us may not be around Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so too many people to talk to. And after the day I've had today, I really didn't have the time or capacity to reach out to council and ask the question, which I normally do, to be fair to say. However, based on the information that we're provided with to make a decision on, and I think it's quite evident that some councillors may not have actually looked at their agenda until today, because obviously there's been 2 agendas. So realistically, the opportunity for us, again, that's just an issue that's been ongoing for a number of years, the length of time that the councils actually do have to do their research and to question these things and have the opportunity to question council officers on that. I think it's relevant that it's on the base of it, on what information is available to us versus information that you may have access to. I think that what's provided on council's website quite clearly states that the policy was adopted in 2015, which may be contrary to the information that you have.
Yes, through them. Wanting to debate the matter, but just to say that we stand by those comments that it wasn't formally adopted. Yes, another alternative may be that council could choose to defer the matter if you wanted to review a copy of that report in first instance. That's another option.
Councillor Murphy, what are your thoughts then?
Thank you, Carl.
To be as a matter of process, Mayor, I think that would be up to the mover.
Councillor Martin?
No, I think the strategy has been revised by a lot of well-qualified people, as in the 2026 revision. 2015 was authored by over 150 people. So the strategy itself, as stated on the council website, that it was adopted by council. I have no other information that I could actually refer to that it wasn't adopted by council and it was merely endorsed, because when you research it over the last couple of years or especially the last 6 months, it does state that it was adopted by council. Full stop. Now, moving forward, I think this motion is about adopting a revision version of that strategy.
Understood.
So it gives an opportunity for later on, if we need to change it, well, we can. But that's honour the commitment of the 150 people, as well as those who recently revised the strategy people.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister, you have a question.
With more of a statement. I think, the current living strategy does include a lot of outrooting stuff, but I think long term, we've got to consider that Devonport's always been a public, private enterprise city. Hobart, Launceston and Burnie are the government cities. I think eventually the way we're going to have to go is to get a private university and a private hospital. And a lot of council reform the Local Government Act. Yeah.
Thank you. Any further comments? Councillor Wilczynski.
Thank you, Mayor. I believe we need to have a strategy like this. I wasn't in 2015, knowing that it's been so well sourced. It's something we can do in collaboration with, and that's teamwork too. If council feels we haven't got the manpower, okay, we've got these other people who are willing to be a part of something with us for further education of any age in our city. I think it's a plus. Doesn't matter what age you are. It is strong for people to learn, and I agree that we should have a look at this because we can do it in collaboration with others, not just on our own. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Councillor Moore?
Yeah, I'm also happy to support this strategy. While I understand the officer's comments about our resourcing, and there is a lot of things on that strategy that I would like to look at further down the track, because there are some things that I don't think the council can do by itself. But in terms of Devonport City Council having a strategy about learning and a direction and a roadmap forward, especially the literacy for life goal, I don't think I can be an educator and not support Tasmania's literacy and whatever the council can do to increase literacy rates in Tasmania. So also the comments from Loaves and Fishers, UTAS, Devonport Community House. I think our council needs to do something more rigorous around literacy, and so I'm happy to support the motion.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Councillor Long.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a very quick question. The difference between endorse versus adopt.
If council adopt a strategy, they effectively are the owner who's responsible for implementing the actions. Endorsement is typically used if we just support it. I mean, our support to it.
Further questions from the councillors? If I may, look, I admire Councillor Martin for bringing this up to us to have a look at. I, though, would have preferred it to perhaps come to a workshop first so that we could look at it. It's a strategy for 26 to 2031. All of a sudden, we've just got to say yes to it tonight without actually working on it, finding out if it was going to be put out to the community as well, like we normally do with a lot of our strategies. So I just felt that it was something that was a bit rushed. We discussed it in March, obviously, and decided that we weren't going to keep going with it. Then all of a sudden it's come up again. So I admire that. I can see what you're trying to do with this and how you're aiming to put this through. I'm not against some of the ideas, but it's a whole strategy that we're just going to endorse tonight. And then therefore we must follow that until 2031. If we can, I would have preferred if perhaps it was deferred tonight so that we could take it back to a workshop and actually work with it so that we could make sure that what we were going to put up was something that we could follow and do correctly. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Question for Amy.
Yes.
The motion is only to adopt the revised.
I know.
So it's only a revision of the existing strategy.
But we didn't do the revision. Councillor Martin's done the revision through just sending out emails to certain community organisations. I understand exactly what was there, Councillor Murphy. I read it. Thank you.
Just comment on that. No, I just didn't send out emails and hit or miss. I actually met with Pro Vice Chancellor.
You probably did. I have no doubt.
You stated that it was just sent out emails. I'm correcting it.
Thank you, because it doesn't say that you went and had meetings. I'm only going with what I've got.
It's revised.
We can get to workshop at Councillor Martin. That's all I'm saying. Thank you. Councillor Wilczynski, do you have a question?
Yes. Was it not a community study done in the first place?
Not that I'm aware of. A community going out for consultation to the whole community.
No, it was put out to the community and had people involved in building the strategy.
At the time?
Yes.
Yes, but not this new revised one.
But
that's my point.
Well, if we've got one line going forward, should we not? Why do we have to revise the same sort of structure? times do change, and we all believe that we have to have better education in our city.
I wasn't arguing with that. I said I just understood that if we're going to adopt a strategy and it's been revised, we should have had the opportunity to have a workshop. It's a normal process that we do with our strategies. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then this line on the table.
Workshop or
I'll second.
I'll vote for that.
So Councillor Hollister
Yes.
for a procedural.
Yep.
And Councillor Viney to second.
Yes, ma'am.
Councillor Hollister.
No discussion.
No discussion? Okay. We'll just vote on that. For the procedural motion, for Councillor Hollister to lay it on the table to go back to a workshop and be deferred. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
I'll have sharp hands, please. 4, Councillor Hollister, Councillor Viney, Councillor Shand, myself, Councillor Jarman, and Paul. Against, sorry, Councillor Murphy, Councillor Wilczynski, Councillor Martin, and Councillor Moore. We'll go back to the original. Yes, sorry, it's lost.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to the original motion. Any further comments? If not, I'll ask Councillor Martin to close the debate. Your line is on. Sorry, Councillor Martin. The line is on. Councillor Martin to close the debate.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, this is a revision of a strategy that was written by 150 community representations. It's representations from all sectors of this community. Now, yes, over 10 years, the needs and wants of the community as far as learning goes, as far as literacy goes, have changed, except to note that 50% of Tasmanians are illiterate. And when we start talking about Devonport being very high on the disadvantage scale, we should be looking at how we can change that around. Having a learning strategy will help that. And it gives help populate other strategies that council may adopt in the future. It also may help build in to any discussions that council will have into the future in other agencies as well as organisations and committees and workforce. We've built a living city and we're building a living city vision. We're going to need educated people to be able to populate those opportunities to join the workforce, and this will help from a grassroots up. As far as the Live Well strategy, it is about an all-encompassing, it's a good strategy, but it is not a full learning strategy. Pages 5 and 6 discuss learning, but only as a well-being level. They outline aspirations, not a community-developed roadmap. It also discusses learning, but it's not a learning strategy and was never intended to be. As far as providing funding to the strategy, this is not what our council is being asked to do at this stage. It's a strategy, it's not a bill. It doesn't commit council to expenditure because councillors' responsibility is to set the agenda, and it'll allow councillors to choose what actions to support and when and at what scale. Council again has been asked to adopt the revised strategy. As to council should not revise the strategy in March, well, yes, that was part of a 3 strategy agenda item 5.3, but that was correct. I mean, council wasn't asked to revise the strategy. The authors were recontacted and asked them and were asked to revise the strategy themselves. I then had meetings with them and reinforced the points in regards to their involvement and their comments are listed after the strategy in support of what they think why council should have such a strategy. And again, I go back to the CEPA ranked ranking 2011, 2016, 2021. I hope it's changed in 2026 when the census is finalised, or actually started and then finalised. But you know, it's up to us to set the agenda. And I think that there are many learning communities around the world, and that is why we've been asked to explore and investigate other opportunities and what other communities actually do. Thank you. I look forward to your support.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Last vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? I'll have a show of hands. All those in favour, please show of hands. Councillor Murphy, Councillor yes. Councillor Wilczynski, Councillor Barton, Councillor Viney, Councillor Moore, Councillor Shan, and against, Councillor Hollister, Councillor Jarman. Just passed, thank you. Moving on to 3 point, no, we're up to page 3. Item 4, 4.1 is 44. Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Uh, 14 4th Street, Devonport. That on the page. Oh, there it is. It's missing. Thank you. I'll now announce Council intends to act as a planning authority under Regulation 29 of the Local Government Regulations 2025 and the Land Use Planning and Approvals Act 1993 for the consideration of all reports under Agenda Section 4. So item 4.1, if I could have a mover, please.
So
Councillor Hollister. Who's the other? Sorry, Councillor Martin. Councillor Hollister.
It's been recommended for approval with quite a few conditions. They're all in the recommendations, so and further. Right.
Thank you, Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, demolition of outbuildings for the construction of 3-bedroom dwelling. It requires discretion under the Parking and Sustainable Transport Code, and I don't have a problem with that. There's plenty of on-street parking, especially for a visitor to be able to take advantage of. Additionally, a 3.6 metre crossover. I don't see any problem with that either. The local historic heritage code, car park and garage were later added to the household, so I don't see any problems in regards to that, nor any alterations to the fence, which I think is conditioned that if there's any alterations, it should be on the same level as what the current fence line is and materials, etc. The representation from Luke Letton, if I pronounce that right, the vegetation on the southern side, there's an existing tree at the front of the block and the southern end, and I really don't see any problem with that in regards to removal of it, but I don't think the plan is to remove that tree. If I read it correctly, I've got the right version of the agenda, and that tree actually offers privacy and shade, so I don't see any problems with the recommendation.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments from the councillors?
Question.
Councillor Hollister.
The on-site retention requirement. GT, yeah. It's not a flooded area, so I just wonder, is it a make it a slower flow of stormwater?
Yes, that's correct. It's just to slow the rate of flow of stormwater into the council system.
Good.
Further comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. Just quickly with the issue of on-street parking for visitors. I'd probably suggest those visitors don't come between about 8:15 and 9:30 and about 2:30 and 3:30 Monday to Friday on school days. It gets very busy around there for school pickups.
Thank you. Further comments, questions? Not, I will ask Councillor Hollister to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We might get Councillor Murphy back into the fold. Thank you, Ms. White. Right. So we're moving on to item 5, which is reports. So we move on to 5.1, which is the Devonport Youth Advisory Group Terms of Reference update. If I could have a mover, please. So moved. Councillor Moore, and a second, please.
Second.
Councillor Viney. Councillor Moore.
Yes, happy to support the new terms of reference. Just make a note that in the discussion it says that terms of reference have been altered slightly to allow for flexibility in its member and allow for recruitment to fall around exam periods. I clarified with Ms. Riley that means outside of exam periods, not so it's happening in exam periods. Also, I was impressed that it's a very aspirational goal to have 16 people on that council, and I think if you can do that, that would be amazing. It'd be really, I know it's a really hard job to get people that are committed and that make all the meetings, so good luck, 'cause it's a really difficult committee to stay on. It's a great idea, but it is hard to get people to commit to that length of time, and especially kids that are not at school, which I know is what you're going for as well, so a bit of variety. So well done. Let's hope that works.
Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. Also happy to endorse the report as is. Just a couple of questions, just to give council a bit of an idea of the current makeup and retention of the current members. Do we have perhaps just the numbers at the moment? And it's 1 year currently. Are we having many members stay on for longer than 1 year?
Through you, Mayor, we currently, the numbers dwindled down to around 4, and we have just finished a recruitment process, bringing them up to around 11. So they have just all been inducted and have their first meeting coming up in 2 weeks. The second part of that question.
How many continue on after one?
Many do, and so what we're doing is having an ongoing application where they'll reapply each year. We do have some challenges around people just dwindling off. So I guess it's re-establishing that commitment. They're not going to be refused, but just re-establish that commitment and whether they still have the time each year to commit to it. It's more just re-establishing that.
Very much.
Thank you. Further comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Martin, is your line? Sorry.
Yes, thank you. Yes, as an officer, in regards to the terms of reference, I spoke to the young people last September in regards to activities they were doing, and they felt they were a bit hamstrung in regards to ideas that they wanted to actually do. And of course, it comes back to council in regards to financial support and the ability to actually support their ideas, whether it be running rock concert at the Devonport Olympic Hall, or whether it's a gaming competition or whatever that they may come up with. It doesn't really sort of define that flexibility in that terms of reference. So I'll just open it up for you to clarify if I may.
Through you, Mayor, there's 2 parts to that answer. Given that the group is an advisory group with many new members, establishing their purpose is our first key goal. Some of those members are interested in pursuing events and have discussed having a youth jobs forum. Councillor Martin, if you refer to the roles and responsibilities section of those of the terms of reference, we have 2 points there: develop and contribute to initiatives that align with youth priorities. And we also have support council to engage in the broader youth community. Both of those, the point below that, provide opportunities for young people to be involved in community activities, events and decision making. I think we've covered pretty clearly that they certainly can with the opportunity. and it's part of the budget process. Of the budget that was approved. We do have funding for those events.
Thank you. I brought it up because of the conversation I had with those young people. They thought they were hamstrung, and as you've said, that the terms of reference hasn't been that public that much. And then we talk about keeping the interests of the members of the committee. And I would suggest, in my experience, that you can keep their interest there with activities and let them learn with those activities. It might be something that your new group will take under consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? Councillor Wilczynski?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Councillor Martin has just taken a little bit away from what I was going to say, but it was like, how do you keep them engaged? And that's the youth of any time, engagement, so they last the 12 months. Is there a breakout weekend or like something where you get them to work together? Or have you got any strategies that you've got in place to keep with the youth at what ages and whatever? Yeah.
Through you, Mayor. Yes, we do. We have a essentially professional development workshop for them as their first meeting, run by a national provider. So they will be coming down and working with them directly. As far as that ongoing engagement, I believe in the past there's probably been a little bit of talking at them and not with them. They're very much masters of their own destiny in terms of setting that agenda and those items that we will be bringing to the table. And I guess again to Councillor Martin's point, they have the opportunities to either participate in council events or to come up with their own events, such as the Jobs Forum.
Thank you. Further questions from the councillors? Sorry. Nice. If not, I'll ask Councillor Moore to close, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I actually have also talked to DevYag members, and I actually think they have been massively supported in doing things. And I've been to events where DevYag members have been there and thinking that a lot of them would be there, and there's only 2 or 3 that turned up. And so from experience, when you're trying to do a rock concert or something like that, I think we have to be careful. They are an advisory group. They are not an events running group. And they also, a lot of these young people don't have the capacity. They haven't joined DevYag as a club where they want to go play soccer or where they want to do heaps and heaps of time to it. So I just think you have to be careful because it is an advisory group, not an events running group. And I do, from the ones that I have talked to, they've had lots of opportunities. And often a lot of our young people, they think rock concert or they think these big events, but they don't actually have the capacity to. Thank you. Consider it closed now.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
And against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 5.2 is the Dame in Alliance Trust. If I can have a move a recommendation.
Moved.
Second.
I'm going to move to lay this on the table and have it brought back to the workshop now.
That's me. Through you, Mayor. It needs to be moved before you defer it.
Yeah.
Need to put it on the table.
Yes. So if you'd like to have a mover, please. So moved. Councillor Shane, and seconder, please. Councillor Foster, thank you. Councillor Shane.
Thanks, Mayor. I don't know why I have the worst laptop in council at my night to move on, so I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. Just noting that the trustees met. I don't have the date in front of me, but the trustees have met and resolved to wind up the trust. There's been a lot of discussion around that. I support the motion to note that the trustees have made that resolution, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank the trustees. I was sort of at the tail end of the Damien Lions Trust. Clearly, over many years, they've put a lot of work into that, and it must have been such a big decision to resolve to wind the trust up. But just wanted to say with thanks and recognition for their work over many years. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister.
Yes, I was trustees many years ago. It seemed to have a lot of people giving support that they couldn't get support from elsewhere. So the main thing I'm interested in now is to what funds they've got to where they go that's like monitored. Nothing further to add.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors?
Point of order, Mayor, I'd like to move a procedure motion
Councillor Murphy.
to have this agenda item lay on the table and brought back to the workshop. If it's supported, I'll explain why.
Seconded.
Councillor Hollister. Yeah, it's already been seconded. It's already seconded. I think I need a second, a different secretary.
Yeah.
I need a different secretary if that's all right. You've seconded the original motion.
I second it.
Thank you. Councillor Wilczynski. Councillor Murphy.
There's no discussion.
Won't be any discussion. Thank you. There will just be put to a vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against?
Yep.
A show of hands. All those in favour of the procedural motion of it being put back to a workshop. Councillor Murphy, Councillor Wilczynski, Councillor Martin, Councillor Hollister, Councillor Moore. And against, Councillor Viney, Councillor Shane, Councillor John. It is passed. We'll put that back to a workshop. Item 5.3 is volunteer sustainability strategy. Could I have a mover, please?
I move.
Councillor Hollister and a seconder, please.
Seconded.
Yeah, Councillor Hollister.
The strategy. It's all there, nothing else to add at this stage.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
I concur with Councillor Hollister that it is an adopted strategy that is just being updated by their action list, and it is there for everyone to see.
Thank you. Further comments or questions, councillors? Councillor Maviney.
Quickly, Mayor, just want to double check this one has been adopted and not merely endorsed.
Yes.
That's affirmative. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Dick. Any further comments or questions from the councillors? If not, I will ask Councillor Hollister to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 5.4 is the disability inclusion plan. I could have a mover, please. Councillor, sorry, the second Councillor Wilczynski. Thank you. I could hardly hear you. Sorry. And a seconder?
Second.
Oh, Councillor Martin. Thank you. Councillor Wilczynski. Speak up, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really there as stated. I've got nothing to add to it. The action plans there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Martin.
Thank you. Yes, there's five focus areas that looks to participation and inclusion, which addresses barriers, including the cost of transport, the built environment, attitudes and awareness. Another one is communication and awareness, increased access to large print braille, sign language, even communication boards. The third one I've got here is buildings and facilities, monitor new developments, upgrade current facilities, suggest input to modification of private buildings, the parking mobility, which is typically securing access to suitable transport, such as taxis, and lack of disability parking. And then I've got technology innovation and access to new technologies to reduce barriers. Now, the plan addresses all those and has some good points that council can take on board to address those issues that those with disabilities experience every day. So I think this is a very important plan and fully supported. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments, questions from the councillors?
Question,
Councillor Hollister.
does council still cover 5 of the Local Government Disability Act or whatever the act is. They were building and planning in that in the past. It's part of council's policy section. Don't believe it was in the act that was supported. What the car parking spaces for people with disabilities and lifts and stairs and ramps and that was still provide all that.
Through in there, any sign that the council does is in accordance with the development standards.
Thank you. Further comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor
Mayor, I just had a question with respect to the report, even though this document is for 26 to whenever it is, 31 strategy. Just going back to the information to the report, the focus groups were back from 2019, 2017. So just confirming that that is just a revision of the 21-28 and based on the community participation that we had from then, is that correct? Yep, thank you.
Through you, Mayor. That's correct. Those questions were already asked of the community, and engagement with current stakeholders determined that by going back out to the community would be probably getting similar answers. It's better that they see the actions that have been taken.
Yeah, thank you. It was just interesting noticing the amount of participants we had. I think we had 7. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and hence the reason why I think it's an important strategy. I think it's a big number considering the size of our population and actually how many people we had actually commit to community survey, resident building community survey closed 6th of October 2017, plus an additional 8 online submissions. And the survey closed in 2009 37 responses. And then we had a follow-up 5 community workshops with 46 participants. So there's some good numbers of community participation with respect to input into this particular strategy.
And if I may, Councillor Murphy, we've had updates to the national policy. So when we were in Canberra, there was a national strategy on disability now that is across the board global government, which is why we're doing this as well. But a lot of work done. Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? If not, I will ask Councillor Bilchinski to close.
Thank you, Mayor. And yes, with those states that Councillor Murphy has put up, it's 10 years and it's about time we get updated. And again, you just said that Canberra has put out a federal one. So very good. We're ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 5.5 is the second Sound and Light show. The information is there and the recommendation is there. If I could have a mover, please.
Second.
Councillor Moore and Councillor Viney straight in. Councillor Moore.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yes, I definitely would support that we endorse the submission by Alex Moss. 2 really strong contenders. I liked Alex's Moss as well. I think that it will appeal to families. The Curious Creatures, or the proposal we have there for one of the acts, which is Curious Creatures, has like parrots and bandicoots. And I can imagine kids running around looking at the animals for that one. I do agree with the submission that we should go with Alex Moss. Darryl Rogers' submission was amazing as well, but it is quite more aligned with what we already have down at the waterfront. So it would be nice to have 2 things that are quite different. Also a shout out to the Devonport regional gallery. They are advisory. They were a little fiery as a committee, but they are awesome bunch of people that care so much about art. So a bit of a shout out to them.
Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. I should have got in first. Devonport Regional Gallery Advisory Committee. Make sure we get that right. Excellent work by them. To narrow it down, not just to 2, but to the 7 high quality candidates or submissions we had for the show. Important to note that it's not replacing the original Us Guide to Sea, but it will act to complement it. And I think only adds further to that asset down there on the waterfront that it's something to see, especially, I mean, this time of year when it's getting darker a bit earlier. I must admit, since I haven't had any visitors to show the performance off, I haven't been down there for probably 12 months. So I think it does rejuvenate it. It's something, I guess, that was always a view that we wouldn't just have the one show and that it would always be evolving. So, like my colleague mentioned, I think it's great that it's more of a family focus on this one. Certainly the younger kids really get a kick out of it and have something more tailored, I guess, for their age group is going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing it in completion. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments or questions? You've got your line on, Councillor Hollister. Yes, Councillor Hollister.
It's completely. It's completely different to what's there at the moment, and I think the change will make a big difference. Concepts completely different to our original matter. That's what I like about it.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor. Are we getting any sort of things functions? I think when we first launched it, we were thinking people might want to use it as a sort of event space or something, just product launches or whatever, just stepping outside the arts function of that area. Has anyone expressed any interest in using it at all or anyone?
That's true. I don't believe there's a lot of interest in that. The odd events,
We're promoting it. Again, people do like
yeah, it's a good point.
I'll get the video. I'll also watch it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Further comments, Councillor Murphy?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, look, whilst some of the community may comment or question the amount of money that's being spent, I think Councillor Viney is 100% spot on, and I think this is a significant opportunity for Devonport positioning itself as it has done over a period of time as a bit of a cultural hub here along the North West Coast, and to have something of this standard that can attract people there. And I don't think there's too many nights that you'll drive past there and there's not people there as that light shows on, and even people that might be just around town on light shows on because it's a cloudy night and you see the lights and this, that and the other. I think it just provides a point of difference, which is something that that this council has been sort of ambitious in trying to achieve. But I think this is really going to complement and provide that additional attraction for people to come and stay in Devonport. And I think it absolutely represents good value for money. I think it's demonstrated that we have the capacity to change what we have down there and that we're willing to change. But I think this is going to really look forward to when this comes online and again being able to take visitors alike. I've probably had a few more than Councillor Viney of late, and they've been back multiple times. So they're impressed with the location, the quality, the experience, and they're going back to their place of origins and they're actually commenting, which is just starting that conversation around Devonport. So I think as the new spirits come online, everything else, I think it's going to be a real draw card for visitors alike, as well as interstate and community members of Devonport to experience such a wonderful asset on our foreshore.
Thank you. Councillor Wilczynski.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just to concur with Councillor Murphy, it's probably not change, but add to. It's nice to add to what we have. And it's one of our uniqueness, and we should keep on striving for those unique opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'll be supporting the motion. I think it's great that we've got 5 proposed environments, and as Councillor Moore has said, to have 2 different shows in the one, I think this one links our community to the environment, showcases our environment, and also showcases local plants and animals, which I think is very important to young people growing up in our city to also link with the environment. It creates imagination, curiosity, and dare I say learning, but also promotes conversation and storytelling, which we've been sadly lacking for a very long time. So I think this one will reinvigorate interest in the light show, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister, did you have a question?
I have. I believe the only other regular thing there is a driving group, which I do Saturdays or Sunday mornings, I'm not sure. It's probably something we need to encourage, maybe the Devonport fan or something. Some other sort of groups that can use that during the daytime. It's really only used at night with the light show, so I can get some other usage here. It would have been quite good.
Thank you. I will ask Councillor Moore to close.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, the other thing about this proposal was the on-site workshops that they're going to offer. So I think if we time those well and we really get schools on board, that we can do a lot in terms of buy-in, because if a student has drawn a picture, has participated with the artist, I think that will also get them to drag their families along. And I think that's a nice idea that was within this proposal. Consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried unanimously. 5.6 is the Homefield Joint Steering Group update. Can't hear. Bear with me, sorry. If I can have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy and a seconder.
Seconded.
Councillor Hollister. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ongoing moving feast. There's a lot in this, and it's something that's not going to be fixed in a short period of time. But the recommendation there is to endorse the Homefield site business case and plan, and I think these actions need to be progressed further or anything else to happen up there on that site. This is a significant site, not only for Devonport but for Tasmania. The fact that the National Trust and it doesn't sit within the federal government's register is disappointing. It's hopefully something that can be changed, but I think we need to not let this go. It does contribute as a significant visitor attraction to Devonport, but it's so under-resourced, it's not funny, and we've only got to continue to move forward with it. So, yeah, I think we need to continue on the path that we're on at the moment and support this recommendation.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister.
Yes. The issues of the payment have been ongoing for as long as I can remember, which is a fair while. We've had lots of plans. I think just got to endorse joint steering group and hopefully get some funding from somewhere, and maybe future funding from council as well, as said, that can be progress a bit further.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Councillor Barney.
Thank you, Mayor. Within the attachment, I want to make sure I get the title of the document correct. The Homefield Historic Site Future Use Business Casing Plan. So much work's gone into that, as Councillor Murphy mentioned. I think anyone that's been on site, I think we all have around the table. There's so much potential there, and the last thing we want to see is the old girl, falling down, around all the treasures locked inside. So it can't be left as is, and it needs support, not just from council, but on different levels, from different levels of government, and that's going to include money. So we have to keep at it. We can't let it just fall into disrepair. And obviously that's not happening, but that group is aspirational, and within that plan, if you're hoping to have 20,000 visitors there in a couple of years, that's not going to be sustainable as it currently is, because you can't have that many people walking through an old house. It will just destroy it. We definitely don't want that to happen. We want it preserved because it is an important part of the story of the city and the history of the city, and I don't see another Prime Minister coming from Devonport. I mean, I dare say we see another Prime Minister coming from Tasmania. So it's very important for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments from the council? Councillor Wiltshire.
Thank you, Mayor. Concur with both my fellow councillors. It is extremely important, and a lot of our local people don't understand the importance. We must continue to find a way to develop it so that we can have the 20,000 people or 30 or 40,000 to be able to understand the history of both the Prime Minister and the Dame, husband and wife, children, both in politics, and like it's not heard of. And we're not even on the national radar with him being a Prime Minister of Tasmania. And Damien O'Brien's been the first woman in the Senate. So I haven't got that right. House of Reps. Thank you for correcting me. But she was the first woman there. An amazing stories in some of her books too. Thank you. We must commit. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, I think this historic building and family should be put up on a huge spotlight for the rest of the country to see. Yes, it's important to Devonport. Yes, it's important to the state, but it's also important to the country. There's only 3, I think, prime ministerial premises that have been kept available to the public to go and have a look at. One's in Western Australia. I'm not quite sure. Memory doesn't come forward at the moment, but the story of Joseph Lyons and Dame Edith Lyons, especially Dame Edith Lyons, I just read a book not so long ago, or was aware that her and a colleague, the first women in Parliament, actually there was no female toilets in the old Parliament building. So to work it out, the ladies had to leave their shoes outside the men's toilets to signal that there was ladies inside. And it wasn't until later on that female toilets were available in Parliament House. And it's that type of legacy and those types of stories that people absolutely love. The hardship that the family underwent when Joseph Lyons was Prime Minister of Australia, having to travel across that strait, and then catch a train up to Canberra, etc. And Dame Lyons having to leave the family behind. She gave birth to 12 children, and then having to travel to Melbourne and go support Joseph, and then later on becoming a member of Parliament herself. The stress that they went through to be able to achieve what they did was enormous, and we should hold up high the story of both these people and their families. So fully support the efforts into restoring and recognising what the homestead's all about. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I must admit, one of the best things we've done just recently was on the weekend, Mr. Dobson, having it all lit up and the stories being told across the facade of the home hill itself was certainly one way to get people to be invested in the story and to know more, and a great way of doing it. Certainly very creative. So congratulations on, I hear that there was close to 400, 500 people over the time. So that was wonderful. And, you know, in this weather and everything, people getting out there and perhaps maybe there'll be people that said that they've never been before and hopefully they want to go inside and see more about it because it is an amazing museum. If there are no further, you've got a question, do you, Councillor Hollister? Sorry.
Took up my question actually. I wanted to ask the numbers and also the possibility of the future of repeating. It was a great thing though, and I think these like a lot of people there probably never been there before. Question is that was the possibility of the future.
Yeah, 3 years. And the overall numbers for the weekend was around 550 people. We had our highest attendance on Saturday night, being the best weather that we had. We actually have a licence for the content for a couple of years, so it gives us the opportunity to show it as regularly as we would wish. The infrastructure, the technical infrastructure, comes through West by Northwest as part of their Illuminate the Northwest Festival. The intention would be to show it once a year.
Perfect. Lovely. Councillor Binding.
Yeah, sorry, Mayor, I just need to correct something that I said. So I think it's unlikely that we'll have another Prime Minister from Tasmania, but we will never have another first woman in the House of Representatives, and certainly not one that's birthed 12 children living in the same house. I'm pretty confident on the second part.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Nice.
Appreciate it. Councillor, if no more comments or questions, if not, Councillor Murphy, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I think just listening to the conversation around the tables that there is, a unified acknowledgement that this is such an integral part to the identity of Devonport, Tasmania. And I think it's something that we should continue, and hopefully the new council will continue to pursue, because there is such a significant opportunity to develop this site in such a way that we will actually see, not just primary school, high school age children actually attend the site and get an understanding of the history and the story that comes with that, with respect to ambition and drive and commitment, and the story behind the sacrifices that were made, and as highlighted by Councillor Viney. That might inspire someone to actually turn around and encourage their husband to get into politics, follow them, and then have 12 children.
I hope not.
But that's the thing. But I think that this, but also again leaves the opportunity to, from an educational perspective more broadly, look at having schools from interstate that come to Devonport. And I've been a big advocate for this for a long period of time. If we can get kids involved or engaged in something and they really like it, or it's a great experience, they're going to go home and they're going to say to mum and dad, I want to go back and have a look at that. Which means mum and dad are going to have to come back on a Friday or a Saturday. And if that means overnight stays, that means contribution to our economy. And I think this is where this is such an undervalued and underutilised resource that, eventually through this process that we can actually achieve that. And I think that's something that hopefully the new council will continue to run with. And, hopefully we'll see something again, very much like this council, very ambitious on that site. But more importantly, get more people to experience the significance of that site. So consider it closed, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried unanimously. 5.7 is the tender report, annual reseal program. If I can have a vote, please. Sure. Councillor Shan and the seconder.
Second.
Councillor Viney. Councillor Shan.
Thank you, Mayor. Questions with the scope for the contract. I'm sure I'm looking at. Jason, sorry. Thank you. Did we, when we were scoping up which roads to use, were we using councils? We have some cameras in our maintenance trucks that collect data on road conditions. Is that sort of used as a method to determine the scope?
Through you, Mayor. No, we don't have the cameras in our vehicles just yet that are doing AI condition assessment, but we did have a road condition assessment conducted by some consultants with AI cameras. That was done 3 years ago, so we're still relying on that information.
Apologies, I went to a meeting about 12 months ago. I was under the impression of using them just as a matter of course. I know Central Coast do, but we don't anymore. Yeah. Cool. My other question was a bit off topic scene, but with speed humps in Greenway Avenue, just a question without notice, what's the process for residents if they're sort of feeling that, that's becoming quite an issue and getting speed humps in a residential street, they sort of right to council or
I guess not the motion itself, is it?
roadworks.
No, the
Road
the speed humps.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the deviation. Things.
Through you, Mayor, we, on the council website, there's a customer request area there, and you can, members of the public can go into that and select, there's a category in there for traffic that includes devices, speed humps, and they can request or ask questions about those sorts of devices if they so wish.
Yeah, I think road safety was in the report, so it's a bit of a stretch, but it's very indulgent.
Thank you, Councillor Bunny.
Thank you, Mayor. I think the kids are calling what the deputy mayor did there a side quest. So I'll get back on track. So over 5 kilometres of sprayed surfacing, which is not insignificant, and just over 400 metres of hot mix asphalt surfacing, noting that there's 3 submissions there during the tender process. One of them way above the other. So I'm not sure if Fulton and Hogan want to do any work in Devonport, or have obviously got a price that I don't really want to do at price. But there were some competitive between the other 2, and happy to endorse the recommended there through Hardings Group. One of each. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions from the councillors? Councillor Hollister, you've got your mark. All good. Councillor Shane, close.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. And then 5.8 is the road network strategy update. If I could have a mover, please. Councillor Murphy and a seconder.
Second.
Councillor Martin. Councillor Murphy.
It is there for noting, Mayor, and it is in response to the notice of motion from December of 25, where we all participated in the conversation around what the road network safety strategy was. So, yeah. So there.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. I concur with Councillor Murphy. Note that there's a suggestion there that look to have improved opportunities to disperse traffic from the Homemaker Centre, especially with the new developments. I think it's a really good idea. We'll certainly ease congestion from the Middle Road overpass as well, for those exiting the highway to use the Middle Road overpass and come back up to access the Homemaker Centre. So I think that the strategy update has got some really good ideas, and they're happy to support.
Thank you. Further comments, questions from the councillors?
Funding for the overpass that would have to come from state growth. Richly.
Yeah, state and federal government. That's a federal highway, so the majority will need to come from the federal government.
Thank you. Further comments? Not. Councillor Murphy to close.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Yeah, and I think it's worth noting that in light of the proposed future development of Brent Street, I think, getting the best solution now is probably going to be the most cost-efficient way for council to move forward. And just highlights that. So, yeah, hopefully the federal and state government come on board. That's where we're going to end up with that aspect. But anyway, we'll have to deal with what we've got, and go from there.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 5.9 is the National Services Association of Australia request to install Memorial Park. If I could have a mover, please.
Option 1.
Second.
Option 1. Second, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Hollister.
I believe it could go the cenotaph. They've got the museum. It's the Maritime Museum, so it could go there. Or I think they're the best two options. Somebody's got other ideas.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy. Oh, you're right. Sorry. Councillor Murphy.
Thanks, Mayor. Look, in light of the fact that Devonport had such a, a historical involvement in maritime history, I think it's just a bit of a no-brainer, really. Like, it's not as if they're asking for too much. It's more about, we all agree on a suitable place for a park, and realistically, it's not that big. I think it just adds again to something from council's made a significant investment with the Maritime Museum, and again, I think there's just an outside acknowledgement of that. And it's good that they've chosen Devonport. There's a number of others around the country, around the state. So, but I think it's relevant to who we are. So yeah, look, it's no real cost. Except a bit of maintenance once it goes in, but that's not that bad. So, yeah.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Not.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Martin.
Thought you were close here.
Oh, no.
Councillor Martin.
So yes, I support option 1, recognising the contribution of Merchant seamen who served in our nation in war and peace. The Masters Mariners were established in 1939 to preserve and maintain ethical standards of the maritime industry, and they also inform government at the present day. This type of park will also provide opportunities of storytelling and learning about the maritime history of Devonport, and hopefully encourage, as Councillor Murphy say, to visit the Bass Strait Maritime Museum, and with the history associated with our city and Bass Strait, and that in my final point here, I've got work with the Master Mariners in regards to identifying a mutually agreed location for the park. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? Not. I'll ask Councillor Hollister to close.
Pick a spot. Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 6 is inflation 6.1, and if I could have a vote of those. So moved. Second, Sheehan. Councillor Murphy, you happy to second? Councillor Sheehan.
I want to get my numbers mixed up this time. Workshop. Just like to thank council staff for organising the tour of the Indie School, which was carried out as part of one of the workshops, and also just noting the briefing by the Minister for Primary Industries regarding fertiliser and petrol supply to our growers. Really good month of workshops. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thanks, Mayor. I reinforce what the Deputy Mayor and thank her for actually pressing the Minister to actually attend. I think it was at her request. I think it was an invaluable opportunity to, first-hand engage with state ministers. It provided us also an opportunity to discuss other things as well, and put those things on the radar, and get directly from the officer's mouth where the state government's heading with respect to a number of those portfolios which they're responsible for. So yeah, I think it's been a very productive month with respect to the English school was a real really positive experience to go into that facility, and full credit to Fairbrother and the design team, and the finishing of the building itself. I think they've really got some good value for money with respect to what they presented to us on the night, and it's proving to be a very well received educational place for young people in our community.
Thank you. Further comments or questions from the councillors? Councillor Nunn.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, the tour of the school was absolutely terrific. It's a great learning space. Congratulations to Wade Simmons who took us on that journey and showed us all parts of the building and the reason why it was designed in certain ways and how our students interact with one another. And I think having that in the city also allows young people to not only link with our CBD, but to link to the services that are available, such as buses and etc., so they can attend a learning facilities such as the Indian School. Also, I mentioned the Don College presentation of the Flora and Fauna emblem. Voting is open. Just go to the 7AD website and you can choose your own floral or fauna emblem from the 5 judged submissions that have been chosen by an independent committee. If you are unable to get online, you can certainly go to the Devonport Library. They have manual voting slips that you can fill out, as well as some a display of books that relate to those chosen flora and fauna and animals. And having community discussions around that as well that are starting to fire up, and why you choose a certain animal or plant. And I mentioned one that I wasn't really aware of, but I think it was the iris. That the leaves of the iris plant, the indigenous population use those to create baskets, etc. They wove them. So there's that indigenous connection. So a lot of community conversation, and hopefully the new light show might incorporate some of these finalists and the community chosen flora and fauna England. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments or questions from the councillors? If not, Councillor Sheen to close, please. Close. Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 6.2 is the Mayor's report. If I can have a move, please. Moved. Councillor Sheen and a seconder. Councillor
Second.
Miney. Thank you. Councillor Sheen.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, congratulations. You're travelling not only locally but interstate in the last month. As usual, a very busy and productive calendar there. I had just a comment. Again, I'm going to draw a long bow here, but on indulgence. The Jazz. I know you participated in the video to promote the Jazz. It must have been a cracking video because having done quite a few gigs over the weekend, great turnout. I was just literally blown away by the standard musicians that we attracted to Devonport. And I was so impressed. I think I'm going to volunteer for the committee next year. Look out. Anyway, well done. Great. It's a great busy month. And I'm sure the Jazz are just one of many things that you've tackled. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Miney.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll indulge with the Deputy Mayor on going on a side quest perhaps into next month's agenda, but that's fine. We can allow that. No, very busy, Mayor. Into the second page, or the end of the second page. Well done. Lots of stuff. Thank you.
Further comments or questions from the councillors?
Just that it's noted that Deputy Mayor will be on the Jazz committee next year.
Write it down. Write it down. It's recorded now. Councillor Hollister.
It's,
me.
Your meeting with the Devonport Chair as to whether they've got any further with their subdivisions and whatever their business is at the moment.
Not currently. We've just kind of got an update of where they're at. They've got now a nice new group of people on their board and the chair, and it was just nice to get to meet them and see where they're at. They're working on a couple of new things. They've got a menu going. They're doing food. They're just trying to work a way of how to promote that and get that out there. They're even doing sticks. Pigs. Right. Oh, I got that wrong. Yeah. Steaks. That's the word. Garden steaks. Like this. And they're just starting to work on some new ways of doing things. I've just been to the Stride program just previously to that. which was Devonport doing some wonderful work experience with some of their clients, their consumers, and that was very successful too, and a lovely night to go to.
Further question. Do we know yet how many musicians were here for the jazz and so forth? Too early to report on that yet.
But you'll get that in the next month.
Through you, Mayor, I would take that on notice.
Thank you.
Thank you. And further questions? If not, Councillor Sheen to close.
Thank you. I'll consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? So moved. Thank you. 6.3 is the CEO's report. If I can have a move, please. Councillor Hollister and a second to please.
Second.
Councillor Murphy?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like you. Councillor Hollister? Oh, you're right. You're good. Councillor Hollister?
There's a lot here. If we look like getting an improvement in our dividend next year and future years, maybe Tasmania as well.
Through you, Mayor, the corporate plan for Melbourne projects the dividend to remain the same for the next 4 years, which is 630,000, I believe. So that's total across the owners, so we receive our percentage of that. It's forecast to be no change in dividend.
How'd you go with the Gala Ball?
Through you, yeah, good opportunity to connect with some of the our contacts in Geelong, and there's already been a number of things that have come out of that we're following through. So, yeah, probably won't announce those publicly, but happy to fill in councillors after the meeting.
They raised $10 million, over $10 million that night. So it's one of the biggest events Geelong has ever seen. It's incredible to be part of.
Very good. Glad to see you out on the whole road forward.
We let people dance. Thank you. Further comments or questions? Councillor Murphy?
I seconded it. So,
Sorry.
is the CEO able to provide us with any information with respect to the meeting with the Tasmania CEO and the GM of operations with respect to how or what they see the future holds with respect to the fact that they didn't receive their price increase and the impacts on that and what the potential impacts are for Devonport if and when it decides or if and when it may grow, what financial or infrastructure impacts there may be.
Yeah, through you, Mayor, there's a lot in that question. We intend scheduling a workshop with some representatives as water to work through the impacts, but they are the environmental improvements that have been planned, the system expansion development plans they had, and also the dividend returns that forecast have all been impacted as a result of the cost and services plan. We've been able to cut back, but as to what those specific projects are, I think that's most likely a scheduled workshop on that.
Thank you. Questions, Councillor Sheen?
Thank you, Mayor. I just have two very quick questions. The meeting with the Rotarians regarding a seat and shelter, that sounds lovely. Was the location discussed?
Yes, the top end of this end of Little goes straight to the top of the hill.
Yeah, okay.
Tom speech.
Behave. And my other question was look, it's just a note. The pedestrian entrance to multi-deck off Best Street, it has been getting a little bit, the presentation has deteriorated a bit, and the reason I keep sort of bringing it up and putting in work orders is I just feel if we can keep our new infrastructure looking as new as possible, I do believe that's going to, that will be reduction in vandalism, all sorts of better behaviour in a neat, clean environment. So Yeah, just wondering if we could maybe, is there any intention to sort of put something in the budget to paint that area black so it's not showing up, and maybe move that big stall bin out of the entryway?
That's really Mayor. Aware of that one and we're currently looking at some options.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Further questions from the councillors? If not, Councillor Holston, please.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried unanimously. 6.4, monthly operational report for June 2026. I wonder who might be.
I'll move it.
Oh. And a seconder, please.
Seconded.
Councillor Hollister, thank you. Councillor Viney.
Thank you, Mayor. I think you'll find that from the questions from the public earlier that there's other people that are deeply invested in the operational report and can always look through it to find interesting facts and figures and see what's happening around Devonport. So the two that I'd like to talk to, the first one, a bit inconvenienced a few weeks ago by some resurfacing of the path on Victoria Parade. Hasn't resulted in any quicker parkrun times from me, so we may need to look at the surface that was put on that, please. This one is more of a question. The pop-up retail space within the mall, it got lots of opinions, positive, negative, and indifferent when that went in. Has there been any uptake for temporary tenancy, and how's that looking in the short to medium future? Thank you very much.
Mr. Skirving.
Yeah, through you there. So the expression of interest process has been released publicly. We had made a submission process available to CBD mall retailers earlier than that. We've received 14 submissions. The first one looking at scheduling it early was to commence, and that schedule would probably take us through to close to Christmas at this stage. But yeah, we had a really strong response.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Problem? Councillor Hodgson.
So I'd like to commend our parks and service people. That is around front of the Apple building there, where we placed a lot of the stones with bark, and I think that was remarkably much better. Also noticed that pulled out some of the grass and weeds. Not meant to say weeds, but grass and weeds. But I don't think do anything for the town. I think they're better off. You go down to the boat ramp along the edge of the road there. We've got small shrubs, which I think look much better than after grasses that we seem to be putting everywhere. So it'd be nice if we could change that over a step more. It's supposed to be beautifying the entry to the city, but I don't think grass and weeds do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. I think it's Devonport definitely showed that Uni Review may come back to Devonport, having put on an extra show. And just the buzz around town whilst it was on was very, satirical. It's one word, but it was a good show. It was good to see. Very well patronised. Over 1,500 people at 2 shows, 3 shows. I think put an extra one. So, look, again, it just highlights the significance Devonport plays as that regional hub. It's the first time in 20 years that it had been outside of Cobar assessment. So, the latte signals down south starting to recognise that we exist and will actually turn up to things. So, really good. So, that's it. Parking revenues already been identified, so in some way.
Thank you. Further comments from the councillors? I will just, Councillor Martin, sorry.
Thank you, it was a bit late, but so just comment on the pop top at the Bass Strait Maritime Museum, the history of bottles, etc., from around Devonport and the region, history of tea. Devonport, certainly worth going and have a look there at the exhibition there. I think it's for some that maybe bring back a few memories others might be enlightening as to what was around Devonport at that time. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hollister?
Just a further question. Some people have complained that they've registered for some of our exercise programs and things like that. And then when they've gone to the actual event, exercise sort of thing, they've registered, but they haven't got on the list that's come out. So is there something wrong with our IT or whatever?
Through you, Mayor. Councillor Hollister, we can follow that one up with our team. It's the first time that we have gone to an online booking system with an online form. So I'll follow that one up.
If I may, just a big shout out to the Junior Soccer Devonport Cup. What a phenomenal event, as always. Just people everywhere and new venues this time, and apparently they're very, very happy with our Gladstone Park rent. Just a good trial for them to try a new venue, and I think they're going to certainly be asking to be utilising that space again, which is great. Just people everywhere, kids everywhere, happy people, just all the volunteers, all the work. It's just incredible. And I'd have to say it's our biggest sporting event for Devonport. There's others that bring international renown and are amazing sporting events, but this is probably for the size of how many people actually come to the area. I'd say it's probably our biggest sporting event. It's amazing. So always good, and best of luck to them for next year, because it's always in a very interesting time of the year too. And so far, so good. The weather's been behaving. So if I could ask Councillor Viney to close, please.
Yes, ma'am. Just worth mentioning that just a quick social media update. So X has now been deactivated. In the report, it says that we've only got 87 followers on Instagram. I've just done a quick check. We're up to 99 followers. Was there a prize for the 100th follower? No? Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. And if you haven't already followed Janine, you could be that lucky number 100. Thank you. Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour? Against? Carried unanimously. And then we move into 7, the closed session. If I could have a mover, please. Councillor Viney and a seconder. Councillor Martin. Councillor Viney.
It's merely procedural. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Martin.
Nothing to add.
Any further questions? Councillor Viney to close.
Consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour? Against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. At 7:27, please.